dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ Nuki, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
We're back on the channel with another TikTok story time. We got, what is your first paranormal experience? You got any? Oh, for real? You got any?
No.
You got something that you might consider?
Yeah. I have a couple that I would consider. Yeah. But, yeah.
That you had, not somebody had.
No, yeah.
Well,
I don't want to talk about it.
Wow, she keeping secrets on y'all now. Damn, it's like that. Come in the comment section. Dang, see, it's like that.
I may, throughout the video, I may decide.
All right, man. Let us know if y'all got something in the comments. I might have had one. Remember, I talked about mine before.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's considered a paranormal experience. But,
well, I don't know if I've had one.
I had deja vu experience. You know, sometimes they say that's paranormal. You know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. With that being said, man, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want the first part, you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, always, man, we ask you to like it in with a thumbs up.
Please do that.
But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what their experiences. Maybe you can get some information. Be like, yeah, I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
I want to know about your first paranormal experience.
I was out drinking with my friends. I have a bunch of these. I was out drinking with my friends, and I got really drunk. And I went to the bathroom. And all of a sudden, I hear somebody say, I swear to God, somebody say, tell so-and-so, I'm not going to say his name, he's not putting enough coconut milk in the recipe I gave him. And I was like, I have to be drunk as shit. I went up to my friend, and I said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but an old woman, sounds like, said you're not putting enough coconut milk in a recipe. And he started bawling because his grandma had recently passed away. To make him feel better, he did an old recipe and it didn't taste like hers. And he couldn't figure out why. And it was the coconut milk.
I want to know about your first paranormal experience.
Holy crap. I'm 14. It's December. It's dark as fuck outside. My brother's telling me, hey, mom is calling you and asking for you in the chicken coop. She's looking for you. And I'm thinking, okay. So I go outside and it's dark. I'm scared of the dark, but my mom's out there, so I should be safe. The chicken coop is pitch black, and I open the gate and I go, Mom? And she goes, I'm in here. And as I take one step in, my brother at the house opens the back door and screams, Ariana, it turns out mom's in the living room. She's right here right now. She's asking for you. And I have my hand on the gate and I look at my brother and then I look into the darkness that is the chicken coop. If my mom's in the living room, who the fuck just called me in that darkness? Who was in there? It sounded just like my mom. I ran so fast. So fast. No.
I want to know about your first paranormal.
You got anything like that?
No, not like that. Not like hers. No.
No, I'm just saying. I wonder your cousin. I wonder like has she ever been like spooked out?
Oh.
Like I'm saying, even when she first, you know.
I think at first it like freaked her out, but after a while she realized like it is what it is. This is what it is. This is life.
Experience.
Y'all ever heard about doppelgangers? That was my entire childhood. The year's 2001. I'm 4 years old. It's 6 a.m. and I want to go downstairs to watch cartoons because nobody else is awake. One episode into Scooby-Doo, the commercial hits, and I noticed that my mom is standing next to the TV. I don't know how I didn't notice her beforehand, but she was there now. So I'm 4 years old. I just roll with it. I'm like, hey, Mom, can I have some hot chocolate? Her response? Yes, her response was just a blank stare. She did not budge when I asked her that. Unusual behavior from my mother. So loving and caring, would bring me hot chocolate if I asked. So I'm like, peculiar. Let me ask again. She probably didn't hear me. Hey, Mom, can I have hot chocolate? Same response, and this one hit different. My heart sank, and I sat back in the couch and realized that there are things in this world that I don't yet understand. This happened every morning for a week, but the catch was that I forgot it happened the morning previous each time. I actually had to force myself to remember. She would always disappear when my real mom came into the room. I have years of stories. She learned how to mimic my mom's voice, so... Okay, what the frick? You guys blew up that first video. I was not expecting that. Hi! Here's a part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch it. To answer some of your questions, yes, I did just sit there and watch TV. I was terrified to turn my back to this thing. I sat there until my mom, my real mom, came into the room, and as soon as I looked over to her, I'd look back and the apparition of my mom would be gone. My real mom is alive and well, but who knows if she's not my other mother. I've always wondered that. She's my mom. I love the Coraline references, though. I've definitely connected those dots. And I haven't seen Us, but, like, I know the concept is similar, and I can't watch that movie because of that exact reason. Paranormal trauma is real, and I am terrified of scary things, so... But I think the weirdest thing about this whole experience is that after I saw my mom, I forgot that I saw her until the next morning when she would appear again, and I'd be like, why don't I remember? This is not cool. So I forced myself to remember by telling myself that when my real mom comes into the room, I won't look away. I did look away, but I did also remember, so. This is a part 3. I feel like I probably told my mom that I saw her when she wasn't actually there, but she probably brushed it off because I was like 4. And since she brushed it off, I didn't tell my siblings or anything. But about 7 years later, when we're ready to move out of that house, my sister says something to me that makes me realize that she also had experiences this whole time that we were living there. She tells me, Misha, you need to leave something of yours behind so that whatever lives in this house doesn't follow us. And I was like, what? You've been experiencing things this whole time too? And she's like, yeah. And that night, she had an encounter. In the morning, she asked, Misha, were you in my room last night? And I was like, no, why? And she told me that as she was trying to fall asleep, she felt something touching around her bed. And she called out my name, and I did not reply. But something did. It yanked the covers off of her face. And when she gasped, it gasped in a low. And she saw it leave her room and go into mine. So that's great. So let's dive into this motherfucker.
Hold on, Charlie. Hey, but what... I wonder why did Jordan Peele make Us? You remember we watched it and we did the research, but I cannot remember because we only watched it, one time? Mm-hmm. It was one of the movies, like, you only watched one time. Like, yeah. But I wonder where did he get the thought process to even make a movie like that? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I cannot remember. I remember the movie precisely. What? I can, like, if I watch the movie, I can remember every aspect of it. But when we did the research, I cannot remember any of the information we researched on it.
I can't remember.
And it was because when we was doing the research, it was like, I can remember the movie verbatim.
Yeah, I can remember the movie
but
too.
I cannot remember like the details
like
and the reason
his
why.
thought process behind it or why his inspiration behind it. Now I want to know. I really do.
Because Us is one of the movies you like, I ain't got to watch it again after you watch it the first time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those, like,
I'm going to have to go look it up after this, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A voice, shall we? So the first time it mimicked my mother's voice, I was home alone and upstairs playing when in the basement I heard my mom yell my name. And my little kid brain was like, what? I didn't know my mom was home. I didn't hear her car pull in the driveway, but okay, I like my mom. So I went to the basement and I looked in every single room. She was nowhere to be found. The sinking feeling I felt in my chest when I saw that her car wasn't in the driveway, I was like, I've been tricked. That's not cool. The next instance was like 3 months later, and I totally forgot that this happened before, where I hear my mom cough in the basement when I'm home alone. And I'm like, wow, yay, mom. And it wasn't until I was about to check the last room when I was like, this has happened before. No thanks. And I ran the frick upstairs and I hid. But every time I was home alone, I would hear my mom in the basement again. Except this time, I knew it was not my mom. Imagine being happy that you're home alone, and then you hear your mom in the basement, and you know it's not her. Like, wow, being home alone is no longer fun. I'm terrified. Has your older brother ever been to a psychic and shown him a picture of you, and he pointed you out in the picture and said, she needs to come see me. She has something attached to her. From the ages of 4 to 12, I had insane sleep paralysis and night terrors almost every night. The plots that my 5-year-old brain was coming up with were like the plots of a scary movie. And I never watched a scary movie before. Possession to murder to demons. Why was I thinking of those things at such a young age? I was a cheerful kid. My favorite things were my dog and playing outside. When I was 12 years old, my brother went to a psychic. He showed him a picture of our family. He just wanted a general reading. The first thing the psychic noticed was me. He said, your sister needs to come in to see me. She has sleep demons attached to her. I would visit him once a week for a cleansing, and after a month, I never had sleep paralysis again. Thanks, Gary. Every time I woke up from a demonic sleep terror, I would wake up into sleep paralysis. Every time I was in sleep paralysis, I was fighting with some other force to keep my eyes open, because as soon as they would shut, I would just drift back into the night terror and it would start all over again. The sleep demon was literally feeding off my fear as I slept. The dreams were terrifying and felt like real life. One time I woke up from a night terror and I immediately shot up. I told myself, no, I'm sitting up and I'm not going back to bed. I'm getting chills because this is when my other mother entered the room and she walked up to my bunk bed. I was in the top bunk and she touched my chest and she pushed me down. And I was fighting with her to stay up. As soon as my head hit the pillow, I went back into my nightmare. After we moved houses, I still had sleep paralysis. I had a dream that I had woken up and tried to turn on all of my lights and none of them were working, but I felt a presence in my room. I woke up from that dream, felt a presence in my room, and tried to turn on all of my lights and none of them were working. I just dreamt of what just actually happened in real life. This is my haunted object. Watch the next part. When I got a little older and moved into my own...
Shorty, why we got so many parts? Now I have had sleep paralysis before.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay, well, I definitely have had that.
When you had that?
Sleep paralysis? I've had that probably like in high school. And I used to tell my mama, and then she always used to be like, some demons chasing out there. She always used to say that. And I was like, why would you say that? But for real.
I had one this year here.
Yeah.
Remember I told you like literally, like I felt like I was floating away, and then when I was trying to scream, I couldn't. Like I can feel my mouth trying to open, but I couldn't say anything. Then at one point I felt myself couldn't breathe, and I really thought I was dying though. Like it legit, probably a few months ago. Like I was trying to scream out, and I couldn't scream, and I just was like, scream, motherfucker, scream. And my eyes was like, and I opened my eyes and I could see, but I couldn't move, and I was just stuck. And then I dozed back off, and then I went into another situation. And I was just like, bro, that's the weirdest shit ever.
I used to get them a lot in high school though, and then like how she like you will have one, think you good, and then it'll be like a continuation. It was like a thing like that, and then I finally had said something to my mama, and she did say something about some demons and stuff. I said, girl, don't say that. Don't say that.
Scary ass.
Right.
I would wake up every night at 3 a.m. The hallway light would turn on, and I would hear my mom shuffling from her bedroom to the bathroom. I would be really excited that I wasn't the only one awake, and I would tell myself, I'll wait until she gets out of the bathroom, and then I'll come say hi. I would often wait what felt like a long time, but I would hear the toilet flush, and I would hear the sink turn on. And so after I got tired of waiting for her to come out, I would go check the bathroom. The lights would be off, and when I opened it, nobody was in there. I would always ask my mom, did you go to the bathroom at night? And she would say no. I hated leaving my bedroom in the middle of the night, but sometimes I had to go to the kitchen to grab a glass of water, and if I stayed in there too long, I would start to hear the ghosts in the basement talking. Indistinct chatter, I hated it. Skipping ahead, this is Peanut Butter. Peanut Butter was my favorite stuffed animal as a kid. When we moved houses, I forgot about her, but when I was 16, I found her again, and I decided, let me sleep with her. I hadn't had sleep paralysis since I got cleansed, except when I slept with her. I'd wake up and she'd just be staring at me. So I took her to my psychic. As y'all can see, I did not sleep as a child. Look at those bags. Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of hard to sleep when you're being tormented by sleep demons. I now sleep with earplugs and my door locked. We love paranormal trauma. Anyway, I was tired of dealing with the fear that this presence would visit me again, so about 2 years ago, I took Peanut Butter to my psychic. I'll link her in the bio. I told my psychic previous to the session that I was going to bring Peanut Butter along so that she could read her energy and try to connect me to the entity that haunted me as a kid, so I could get some answers. As soon as I sat down and went to go reach for Peanut Butter, Allison, my psychic, was like, whoa, yeah, I sense a male presence. She was like, he's bad. She said, okay, he did not haunt your house, he haunted the house 2 doors down. But she told me that ghosts don't just stay on one property. So as he was wandering around the neighborhood, he saw me in my house and thought, wow, yeah, this girl can entertain me. She can perceive me, this'll be fun. And that's why he latched onto me, because I was a light. She told me that he was a voyeur, a predator, when he was human. And when he passed on, he continued to be a voyeur. Turns out this voyeur spirit took the form of my mom because it would make me more comfortable around him. That's freaking creepy, dude. Why are you posing as my mom? I hated hearing that so much. It just makes it weirder knowing that that was a human at one point, and he's creeping on a 4-year-old. Anyway, I was happy I had answers, but I wanted to know if he was still around. My psychic says, yeah, when you talk about spirits, they are usually invited into the conversation. She said he's standing right there. And I said, do something, please. Get rid of him. And she said, okay, I don't force spirits into the light, but I can get other spirits to force them into the light. And then she's like, oh, yep. As soon as I said that, the spirit police came and they're taking him away. I was like, what, spirit police? She's like, yeah, there's light workers on the other side who take care of the spirits who are not obeying the laws of being a ghost. Basically, if they're haunting and they get caught, then you're not allowed to be a ghost anymore. It's funny, she was like, yeah, he's in the corner pleading not guilty to these spirit police right now. And that's why I can share my story today, because I'm not scared anymore.
I want to know about your first paranormal.
Bro, she did the whole video, bro.
Child.
Bruh, she got... But I wonder, like, it makes me wonder some things, like, I don't know. I don't want to touch on it, but it makes you wonder.
Experience.
A lot of things happened in my life that were paranormal, but at 4 years old, this is one that I distinctly remember because it came back to haunt me later. So, me and my older brother and sister were playing in our living room / dining room area, and out of my peripheral, I see somebody peeking over the corner, and then they jolt back, but the silhouette of that person was so familiar, so I just let it go. 14 years later, it came back. My father had just died, and a couple months later, our childhood home had burned down. We weren't living in there. We had moved to like fucking 40 other different states and shit. So I fall into a super deep drug to sleep because I just didn't want to live anymore. And I basically fucking time traveled. And I went back into my old childhood home, remembered everything distinctly. I can smell everything. I literally time traveled. This is literal time travel. And I hear these kids playing, and I look over the corner, something like this. And the reason why I did that was because I seen my childhood self. I was my own shadow person. I made myself...
What's a really weird thing that you bought?
Oh, you think that's possible? I don't know.
Like I always say,
you never know. You never know.
You really don't.
Wow.
You really don't. Like I try not to like, a lot of people have different opinions about stuff. I try not to like speak too much on certain stuff.
Yeah.
That I don't fully understand. Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's crazy? They got other parts of these. So if y'all want other parts of these, let us know in the comment section down below. They got other ones.
I want to see them.
But the sleep paralysis thing, I've experienced that, and it's one of the scariest things because, like I told you, I saw somebody like reaching for me and trying to pull me, and I was like, "Where are you trying to pull me?" Like. And I saw white and I saw dark. And remember the time I told you about everybody was getting into this burning thing?
Yeah.
And everybody was just, because it felt like they was in a mining or something.
Yeah.
And they were just opening this door and it was going in, but it looks like coal and it looks burning and you could tell that it's hot. Yeah. But everybody was just going in and like, nobody was like crying and weeping like the Bible said, like going into hell. Yeah. But everybody was just, okay, we're going through, and it's a fire in here, but then they'll shut the door, and you just got to wait till the door open, then you go in and shut the door. And then right after that one, that's when I had the one that was in a white room, and it was like somebody was trying to pull me into like this dark place.
Yeah. I don't know the one that I recently had. I don't really know what I would call that one. The one when I was actually like...
trying to scream. You were trying to say something, and I had woke you up.
Maybe you should have let me go through this because I needed to know what that was. But yeah, I don't know. But strange stuff happens all the time. Yeah. So that's why I was just like, I never say things were like, oh, that can't be, that's not possible, stuff like that. So.
But hey, make sure you spam us up. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, man. But as always, y'all know how it go. I do go by the name DJ Kid the Six. We are. We are.
Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please